Hey guys, Chris here with Armattan Quads. I've got some news regarding carbon fiber frames developments. As some of you may know, I've been doing some tests in the past and they were not really good. I had to kind of go back to the drawing board and think about this. What it is my initial idea was to use 2 millimeter arms and then stack them up to give people the options of going, from 2, 4, 6, 8 millimeters, different strength of arms. But what happened with this is that the arms didn't matter how well they were sandwiched together with a couple bolts and mounting the motors on there. They did not act as one piece of carbon fiber, so it made them quite soft, had a lot of torsion to it, and also a lot of bend to them. And it didn't fly well essentially when you tried to hover with the quad, because I use very strong motors on my quads, like they're acrobatic platforms with a lot of thrusts. The quads would oscillate and it wouldn't fly well at all. So I kind of scrapped that idea, and after talking with some people about this, basically the idea is to get these plates. Well, there's two options essentially. The idea is to get thicker carbon fiber to work as one piece arms as opposed to those layered arms, or get those 2 millimeter layers working together as one piece, and then from there would be a lot stronger, a lot stiffer. So from there with different ideas proposed. One of them was to use spacers in between them and bolts to keep them stiffer, which that worked. It helped, but it's just not a direction I want to go in because it means adding more screws, spacers, adding weight to it, and I just simply don't like the look of having arms that are separate like this. I like to have solid arms. So what I decided to do, you see, like I initially tested this with the CNC 258. These right here are 122 millimeter arms, CNC 258 arms. And what I decided to do is actually test this now with a 355. When these arms here are 170 millimeter arms as opposed to 122 millimeter arms. And I figured if it was to work with the 355, since the arms are longer, is definitely going to work with the 258. So I wanted to test it with the longer arms first, basically to make sure that it's going to work throughout the different platforms that I have in terms of size. So that's what I did. Instead of using spacers or anything like that, what I did is I laminated the arms together and then finished them off, installed them with 2 carbon fiber center plates, and then I tested this. And I have to say, when I tested this, I had a big grin from ear to ear because it's day and night now. What I basically have now is 4 millimeters thick arms that act as one piece of carbon fiber. They are laminated, but these things are simply not going to come apart. They're laminated very, very solid. They're going to break before they're going to delaminate, that's for certain. And I don't think they're going to break, frankly. These things are like so strong, it's ridiculous. So I went ahead and I ordered some carbon fiber now from China. I found a source where I can buy some 4 millimeter thick carbon fiber. So essentially this is just a sample now with 4 mil arms that are laminated. In the future I'm going to have the one piece 3K carbon fiber 3 millimeter thick arms with a very similar design to this. This design has been put together for testing purposes, so as you see it's just got little holes in the middle here to cut down the weight a little bit. It is not a final design. It's basically just a tester to test the carbon fiber material. So I did not put a whole lot of time designing any kind of cutout, anything like that in the arms. I just went ahead and put something together quickly to essentially test the material. And I'm quite pleased with the result. This is the lightest CNC 355 frame that I've ever built. and I believe it's by far the strongest as well. And you know what's interesting about this is that it seems like I'm hitting a good balance here between having some bend. See, there is some bend to the arms. You need to use quite a bit of strength to bend them, but there is not enough bend to create any kind of problem with the flight controller, keeping that thing rock solid. And what this means is essentially, for an acrobatic platform, it means you get the best of both worlds. You get a quad that's going to hover solid, that's going to fly very, very well, just like a, an aluminum frame, like I use my other model, 6061 aluminum. It's flying exactly the same, except it's faster, it's lighter, you get longer flight time with them, and when you crash, there's definitely a bit of bend to it, so that it's just going to bounce off the ground and nothing's going to break on it, and nothing's going to bend. You see, that's one thing that's cool about the carbon fiber, is it doesn't bend. Either breaks or it doesn't break, but it will stay straight. Same with the center plates and the arms. And I believe that this is by far the best quadcopter right here that I have built to date. And it's only going to get better because, as mentioned, I've got some samples of carbon fiber 4mm thick coming up in the mail, and I think it's going to look nicer than this. This is a matte finish on there now, which I actually like. I actually prefer the matte finish than the shiny carbon fiber finish, but I have a feeling that a lot of people would prefer the shiny finish. And then of course it's not going to be laminated, therefore it's going to cut down the weight a little bit, being just one piece as opposed to being laminated. So there's definitely good news here happening with Armattan carbon fiber frame development, and I think that you're going to see some frames out there on the market quite soon, available for purchase, built entirely from carbon fiber like this frame here. And another good news is that I believe it's going to be in this size category, hobby grade quad. It's going to be the cheapest full carbon fiber frame available on the market. That I am pretty sure of, because carbon fiber frames in this size that are on the market at the moment are very, very expensive, and I think that I'm going to be able to follow with my business philosophy, which is to offer a good product at a lowest price, essentially, just like my CNC models at the moment. So how about I just connect the battery on this, give you a bit of an idea how this flies for us, give you a bit of an idea what I'm talking about here. Let's connect that on there. Alright, let's have a look. It's the evening now, it's about 11:30 at night. So no outdoor flight on this one today, but you'll get an idea of how stable it is and how well it flies. And if you were, for example, if you have flown a 355 in the past and you were to control this one, you'd feel a definite difference in weight. Like, this thing feels light and agile. It's just an amazing quad. There's no other word for it. This thing is just amazing. Let's check this out under the light. Check out how stable this thing is. Like, there's not a hint of oscillation to this guy. I'm running 100 on stick scaling right now for pitch and roll. It's definitely higher than the average pilot out there. Pitch pumps, no issues, straight as a rock. This thing is a 355 that feels like you're flying a 258. It's got a ton of power, it's light, and it's just as stable as it gets. I mean, My aluminum frame, they just simply do not fly better than that. They're the same. They're exactly the same. Except that, you know, if you crash them hard, you might have to bend an arm back or something like that, which is fine. But, you know, I'm trying to improve this. Trying to come up with something better. Something that's, you know, that you basically crash it and you don't even have to straighten an arm. Worst case scenario, you might have to change the propeller and go back and fly. That's what I'm trying to build here. And so far so good. This thing seems like it is the best quadcopter I have ever built by a long shot. Alright, let's go back to the shop. Alright guys, so that's it. This is basically the first, I would say, highly successful Armattan full carbon fiber frame here. And then there is more to come. So stay tuned guys. Thank you. Cheers.